So, welcome back in the lecture of kinetic theory of gases and radiation for HSC students. So, the today's article in this chapter is pressure of ideal gas. Okay. So, in previous lecture we have studied what is ideal gas. So, ideal gas is a type of gas which obeys the ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT, as well as in that ideal gas no interactions of molecules between each other, so they are moving in a random direction, as well as the collisions are elastic collisions. If there are any collisions, so that collisions are elastic collisions in which momentum and energy are conserved. So such a gas is known as a ideal gas. So now in this article we have to find the pressure of an ideal gas. So if we have this container, okay, so this container are any cubical box. Suppose this is cubical box in which there are n number of moles or n moles of ideal gas. N moles of ideal gas are enclosed, okay, at constant temperature, at constant temperature T. So the temperature of this assembly or cubical box is a constant which is equal to T. There are n number of molecules of ideal gas enclosed in that cubical box. Okay, the side of that cubical box is L. L. Hence it is cubical. All the sides are squares. So the side length is L. Now we have to find first in this article, in order to find the pressure of that ideal gas, first we have to find, so in order to calculate the pressure, you know the formula for pressure. So pressure is equal to force per unit area. So for this cubical box we consider one shaded side and calculate the area of that side. Again we calculate the average force exerted by one molecule on that side. So here we calculate the average force. Again we calculate area and we calculate the force, pressure which is exerted by that ideal gas in cubical box. So up to now we consider that cubical box is parallel, or the sides of that cubical box is parallel to the coordinate axis. We consider a coordinate axis. Suppose this is the z direction or z axis. Again we have this y axis, and again this we have the x axis. So sides of that cubical box are parallel to this coordinate axis. So I draw here that cubical box. Suppose this is our cubical box. So all the sides are joined. So we consider the reference side for this derivation, on which this shaded side on which our molecule is collide. So m is a mass of any molecule we consider is colliding on shaded region. So shaded region is this having side L. So it is cube, all the sides are same. Again this is the origin of that coordinate systems. All the planes of that cubical box are parallel to coordinate axis. We consider this y, uh, we consider this shaded region which is parallel to yz plane. So this shaded region is parallel to yz plane, and here in that box we consider a molecule with velocity v bar. Okay, velocity v bar, and mass of that molecule is small m and is moving towards shaded side. Okay, shaded side with velocity v bar. So if it is moving toward the shaded region, that shaded region, then the velocity is v bar, but it is equal to vx bar, because uh, that particle is moving along x axis, or it is moving along x direction. Here the contribution for y component and z components for velocities remains constant, that is yz, vz bar and vy bar are not involved in this case, because there is no motion, or motion of that particle is only along x-axis, it is not along y-axis or z-axis. We consider it is moving along x-axis, so vz and vy are constant. For this case we only take vx bar, or velocity vx bar. So here in this case, the volume of this cubical box has volume capital V, which is equal to L cube, that is side cube. Okay, so up to now we construct our problem. Now we are going to find uh, so uh, consider this molecule moving towards shaded region. So it has velocity Vx bar, positive Vx bar. When that molecule is collide on this shaded wall, what happens? Its velocity reversed. Okay, velocity reversed. Suppose this is shaded wall and the particle is moving toward this. If it is collide here, then it again moves back or bounce back in the negative x direction. Okay, so now it is moving by negative x direction with a velocity minus vx. Initial velocity is vx bar, and after colliding it bounced back and moving towards another wall with a velocity minus vx bar. Okay, so if that particle collides with this wall, then it uh, transfer its momentum to that wall. So the initial momentum and the final momentum are created here. So we have to calculate the change in momentum. So here in this case, the change in momentum of particle, or suppose molecule, particle or molecule, is, momentum sign is p, but change in means delta, and in which direction it is changing? Along x, so delta px. So change in momentum of a molecule is change in only x component, it is along x component and not along y and z component, because particle is moving along x axis or x direction only. So how it is calculated? So see, change in momentum delta px is equal to, change means subtraction, therefore momentum final momentum minus initial momentum. So formula for momentum is p is equal to mass into velocity. For this case, final momentum means when particle rebounds back and goes to this wall, then that final momentum becomes p f, which is equal to mass of that particle remains constant, and v is vx bar, but it is negative because velocity becomes negative in negative direction. Okay, okay, so final momentum becomes negative mass vx. Okay, again minus what is initial momentum. So now when the particle is starting its motion from here, it has momentum p initial equal to mass into velocity, but velocity is along x-axis, that is positive x-axis, so we have this initial momentum mvx. So by solving this, negative negative addition, but sign is negative, 2 times mvx. So 2 times mvx, this is first equation, and which is known as change in momentum of that particle. So minus 2 mvx is a change in momentum of that particle. But when the particle rebounced back from that shaded wall after collision, it transferred. Okay, change in momentum is this. So it transferred 2 mvx, that is, so the same quantity, but it is opposite, or it is given to the shaded wall. It transferred this 2 plus 2 mvx amount of momentum to wall and rebounced back. Okay, so this much positive 2 mvx amount of momentum is transferred to the wall. So now total change in momentum is 2 mvx. So change, remember here, change in momentum is delta px, it is minus 2 mvx, but here that momentum is transferred to the wall, so change in momentum is positive 2 mvx along positive x direction. So remember this equation. I am going to erase the screen. Now after calculating change in momentum of that particle, we have to calculate average force exerted by one molecule, this one molecule, on shaded wall. Okay, so how this force can be calculated? See, if we have formula of force which is equal to F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration, but uh, but we know the acceleration is rate of change of velocity, that means mass into dv by dt. So if I common out this derivative, that is d by dt, and in bracket mass into velocity. So you know what is mass into velocity. Mass into velocity is nothing but momentum. Therefore force become F is equal to mass into mass is constant, so derivative of constant is, or constant quantity is removed out, and derivative of this dv by dt. But here this quantity is momentum, so that we can easily write here d by dt of momentum. So this is extra information for you, it is not in this derivative, but in order to calculate average force, you have to know the formula for change in momentum per unit time is a force. So remember, change in momentum per unit time is a force. So now here change in momentum is what? Delta t, delta p x, and here the time taken for or the time taken by the molecule in two collisions. See, when this molecule collides on the shaded wall, okay, and rebounced back in the negative direction, and again it collide on this wall, and again it rebounds back to the shaded region. So it traveled 2 times L distance. Okay, this one is L, again L, so 2L is a distance covered in two successive collisions, and the time taken by in that two successive collision is delta t. So now we have this basic construction of our force. So force is equal to change in momentum of that particle along x-axis divided by time taken by that particle in two successive collision. Okay, so remember this first equation, change in collision is 2m vx. So now for calculating the average force, this is the formula. We calculate this quantity already, that is change in momentum. So now we calculate delta t. So delta t is a time required in two successive collision. Okay, so time for two successive collisions is equal to delta t. So you know the relation velocity is equal to distance upon time. So we calculate time, so time is equal to distance upon velocity. So here time is delta t, distance is 2l, because the particle when collide here it goes rebounds back, again collide on this another wall, and again rebounds back to original wall and collide with second time. So it covers l plus l, that is 2l amount of distance. So distance is equal to 2l, and this velocity of that uh, particle is v, or vx. Vx is nothing but velocity along x-axis. So delta t is equal to 2l divided by vx is a time for uh, two successive collisions. Now we have our all values. For average force calculation, we put F is equal to average force. Suppose F is equal to, this is delta Px. Delta Px is change in momentum. We calculated already by equation 1, 2 mvx, okay, divided by delta t is equal to 2l divided by vx. That vx goes to or suppose here vx1. So vx1, it is velocity of particle along x-axis, but this one for first molecule, we consider only one molecule. So for one molecule velocity is vx1, for second molecule velocity is vx2 along x-axis, for third molecule velocity is vx3, and so on. For nth molecule velocity is vn, okay, or vxn. So now here we put x1. So 2 get cancelled. We have the relation small l divided by capital L. Vx1 goes to numerator, it becomes vx1 square. Okay. So this is force we have mvx1 square divided by L. So this is force for force by first particle, okay, first particle on average force by one molecule or first particle on shaded wall. So if we construct the average force for second molecule, then it becomes F2 is equal to m vx2 square divided by L. Mass and L is constant, but velocity is changing, that is vx2 is the velocity of second molecule. Again it is for third, m vx3 square divided by L. So now we can calculate average force of all these molecules. Then m upon L is constant for uh, all quantities, and there is summation of vx1 square plus vx2 square plus so on up to vx3 square plus last molecule is vxn square. Okay, so again this is average force we calculate here. So now we have the formula for pressure. This pressure is equal to force per unit area. Okay, force per unit area. So pressure exerted by that gas P, ideal gas, on the walls of that uh, chamber is equal to average force divided by area of shaded region or shaded side. So average force is equal to this quantity. We write here m upon L vx1 square plus vx2 square plus 1 up to v. So last one. So there are n number of molecules. So we can write as it is. And again area of the shaded region is, suppose this is shaded region, L square is the area, so it becomes L square. So now up to this, that pressure equal to small l upon capital L, and this L square becomes L cube. So L cube is a volume, V is equal to L cube, volume of this cube. So in place of L we can write V. and again numerator quantity vx1 square plus vx2 square plus so on up to vx3 square, all the velocities along x-axis. So now if we calculate the average velocity for x-axis, so average velocity for x component, okay, then that average velocity is known as vx square. Here not 1 2 3 because it is average velocity for all the particles moving along x-axis. So it is summation of all these quantities, that is vx1 square plus vx2 square plus vx3 square and plus 1 divided by what, total number of particles or total number of molecules, that is capital N. So we have here this for this quantity, this for this quantity we have n into vx square. This n comes to left hand side into multiplication and it becomes vx1 square plus vx2 square plus vx3 square and so on. So in the place of this quantity we can put n vx square. So pressure is equal to m divided by that v and into it becomes capital N vx bar square. But here we use the velocity along only x-axis. But if we consider any particle which is free to move in that container, then it is possible that it can move along y-axis also, along z-axis also. So it has vy square average velocity, vz square average velocity also. So we can write average velocity or total average velocity v square equal to summation of this vx bar square plus vy bar square plus vz bar square. So it is three-dimensional coordinate system and this is cubical box. Therefore there is symmetry for that molecule to move along any axis. So there is symmetry of vx square plus, is equal to vy square, equal possibility of moving the particle in all direction. So all these three velocities becomes equal. So if they are becomes equal, then in this equation we can write, if this is vx vx and vx, so 3 times vx is there, 3 times vx square. So here vx bar square becomes this 3 goes to left hand side, it becomes 1 upon 3 v square only. So now this value is put in the place of here. We can write the momentum equation as pressure equal to m capital N. In place of this we can write 1 upon 3, so 1 upon 3 and v bar square divided by volume. So pressure is equal to 1 upon 3 n upon v and v bar square. Again on rearranging we write here 1 upon 3 number of molecules divided by volume into m v bar square. So this is pressure exerted by ideal gas in a closed container. So this is equation for pressure exerted by ideal gas in closed container. So remember, it is depend on total number of molecules. Again, it is depend on volume of that cubical box or container. Again, it is depend on mass of particles and it is depend on total velocity or square of total velocity of that particle. So it equations also satisfy or valid for any shape container. Okay, so it is not necessary to keep the cubical container, you can use any shape container. And here it does not depend upon the collisions or collisions of particles does not affect this equation. Why? Because in the collision, if the molecule is moving in any direction irrespective of xyz, so it moving along Vx, Vy, Vz. Rather, it is moving with another velocities in this case. So there are another molecules, or in one mole there are 10 to the power 23 molecules are particles are present. Particles are present in one mole. So that large number of particles may collide with each other, but there is total gross velocity of that particles remains same, and that is why it is not affecting the equation. So this is all about the pressure exerted by ideal gas. Remember this is for 3 mark question for you in your board examination. Okay, study well. We are stopping here. Thank you.